In the frozen wilderness of Russia, prisons exist where survival itself becomes the daily punishment.
Russia operates a vast prison network, many hidden deep within forests far from civilization. Many inmates travel thousands of kilometers before reaching Russia's most isolated prisons in Siberia. But inside these prisons, identical uniforms replace personal identity, enforcing strict order among all inmates. Unlike many Western prisons, Russian penal colonies often house inmates together inside large goal. Every morning begins with roll call, where discipline and strict routines control prison life. Work is mandatory in many Russian prisons, forming a central part of the correctional routine. 8. Russia's harsh winters create additional challenges for inmates living inside remote prison colonies. Prisoners who break rules may be sent to isolation cells, where contact with others disappears. Inside Russian prisons, an unwritten hierarchy often controls power, respect, and survival among inmates. In isolation, prisoners face long hours alone, where silence becomes the most difficult challenge. Meals are served on strict schedules, offering simple food designed only to meet basic needs. Communication inside Russian prisons is controlled, limiting how inmates interact with each other and outside. Daily outdoor time is limited, offering prisoners brief moments of fresh air within strict supervision. Even at night, Russian prisons remain under constant surveillance to maintain strict control and security. Strict routines and isolation can create intense psychological pressure that builds over long prison sentences. As the day ends, prisoners return to their barracks, preparing to repeat the same routine tomorrow. Some of Russia's harshest prisons are located deep in Siberia, where survival becomes even more difficult. In extreme regions, temperatures drop so low that even basic daily tasks become physically exhausting. During transfers, inmates are often held in tight transport cells with minimal space or comfort. Every movement inside the prison is controlled, from walking paths to the timing of daily activities. Punishment blocks are used for discipline, where conditions become stricter and privileges are heavily reduced. Many inmates in these prisons serve long sentences, sometimes lasting decades behind the same walls. Medical care exists, but access can be limited depending on the prison's location and resources. In remote prisons, winter nights feel longer, colder, and more isolating for those inside. Over time, inmates develop a survival mindset, adapting mentally to strict routines and harsh conditions. Escaping these remote prisons is nearly impossible due to distance, security, and extreme environmental conditions. Some inmates here are considered extremely dangerous, requiring constant monitoring and stricter levels of control. Inside these prisons, surveillance systems ensure that every action is recorded and closely monitored. Silence is often enforced, reducing communication and maintaining strict order among prisoners throughout the day. Long-term isolation and strict routines can slowly impact the mental stability of many prisoners over time. Guards patrol constantly, ensuring rules are followed and maintaining full control across every section. Even small privileges are tightly controlled, making freedom inside prison feel extremely limited and temporary. The harsh weather itself often feels like an additional punishment for inmates living in remote prisons. The harsh weather itself often feels like an additional punishment for inmates living in remote prisons. Family visits are limited and controlled, often taking place under strict supervision and time restrictions. Day after day, the same routine repeats, creating a cycle that feels endless for inmates. With a cotter, for some inmates, the pressure of prison life pushes them to their mental and emotional limits. In these prisons, time moves slowly, making days feel longer and years harder to endure. Many of these prisons exist far from cities, making them almost invisible to the outside world. Inside prison, control over daily life is removed, replaced entirely by strict systems and rules. For many inmates, life becomes a long wait, counting days until an uncertain future arrives. Russia's prison system is built on control, discipline, and strict routines that rarely change. Survival here often depends on mental strength, discipline, and the ability to adapt over time. It's beyond these walls lies a different world, one that feels distant and unreachable for many inmates. And thank you for watching. Subscribe to explore more real stories from life inside prisons worldwide.